What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Black Apino, the Apple Guy, and on my channel, I do a lot of tech tutorials, unboxings, and some tech reviews. And today I am doing a kind of a first impression of a Surface Go 3. So this here is my Surface Go 3. I've actually had this for a couple of weeks. I actually sold my previous Surface Go to a coworker and haven't actually had a chance to kind of play around with it up until yesterday. So I was thinking about doing an unboxing of it, but I just, couldn't wait to play around with it. So I unboxed it, and it does come with Windows 11 in Windows Home S mode. So basically the Surface Goes, whether it's the Surface Go 3, the 2, or the original Surface Go, I believe that they all come with Windows Home in S mode. So just to kind of give a recap on what S mode means, that basically means that by default, the device cannot install any third-party apps that are not verified through Microsoft. So say you want to download Google Chrome as your browser on your Surface Go, basically it will not let you do that. It'll say that this app wasn't verified through Microsoft. So basically you're stuck with Internet Explorer, or I'm sorry, Microsoft Edge, as it's called now, until you switch it from Windows S mode to Windows Home. And it does take you through the steps to do that. Once you unlock Windows Home, you basically have a Windows 11 home device that you can pretty much download whatever you want, third party or not, from the device or onto the device itself. But as default, it will not let you do that. I did make a video on how to switch it from Windows S mode to home mode, but this being Windows 11, the procedure is a little bit different, so didn't really think about doing that when I made this video. So basically, in a nutshell, until you switch it from Windows S to Windows Home, you are stuck with using whatever you can use in the Windows App Store. Any third-party apps you want to download, you cannot till you switch it over. Now, in terms of basically performance-wise, I'm just going to kind of read off the box. So this is the Surface Go box. This is just like my other previous one that I got. This is the base model. So it is the Intel Pentium Gold, which is what the base model will have. And then it has 64 gigs of internal storage and 4 gigs of RAM. So basically it's the same as my previous Surface Go in terms of specs. Now, in terms of the processor, it is much different. This is an Intel Pentium Gold, yes, just like the Surface Go and the Surface Go 2, but this is actually a dual core as opposed to just a single core with the Pentium Golds on the previous model. So basically that means in terms of performance, this is a much faster machine than the Surface Go 2 and the Surface Go. I've been able to do a little bit of work on it. I actually downloaded Lightroom onto this, and I'm actually able to run it much more easier on this than I did with my Surface Go. And in terms of performance, when running multiple apps on it, yes, running Windows 11, I didn't really notice any hesitation. I was able to run a few apps on it without it having to worry about freezing up on me. I actually also ran Office productivity apps on it, so I am running Windows Word on it, and I use Microsoft OneNote. And again, I haven't really had any issues with it. Now, in terms of video editing on this, I don't believe that you would want to do that with the Pentium Gold version, which is the base model at $400. You might be able to do it with the i3 version, but again, it depends on what you're shooting and how you're shooting your video. So the screen resolution on this is just shy over 1080. It is a 1900 by 1200 as opposed to 1920 by 1080. So in terms of if you're shooting your videos at 4K, I really wouldn't recommend you using a Surface Go for video editing. I would recommend either the Surface Pro 8 or the 7. Now, in terms of functionality wise, again, this is a 10.5-inch screen, whereas the Surface Go was a 10-inch screen. So in essence, even if you were to get rid of your Surface Go and you still had the keyboard, it still works with the Surface Go 3, which at the time I actually didn't know that because, again, this is a 10.5-inch screen and the Surface Go is a 10-inch screen, and the Surface Go 2 is also a 10.5-inch screen. So when I sold my Surface Go to my coworker, I ended up having to buy another keyboard for this, but aside from that, it still works perfectly fine. It still claps to it, and the Surface Go or the Surface Pen still works on pretty much all of these Surface devices, whether it's the Surface Goes or the Surface Pros or even the Surface Studio, and I still think it's one of the best stylus out there that you can get for for pretty much any tablet. Now, in terms of connections, it's pretty much the same. You still get that USB-C connection right there, 3.5 millimeter plug-in, and the typical Surface Go plug-in. And then on the back, you still get that micro SD slot that you can use for buying a micro SD and using that as internal storage for your Surface Go. That way you don't have to worry about lugging around a external hard drive. But if you wanted to do that, if you wanted to plug in more multiple devices, you can do that with something like one of these. This is from Hyperdrive, I believe is what it's called. Hyperdrive. I got this at a convention a couple of years ago. Notice the connection is USB-C, and the connection on this is also USB-C. So basically what you would do is you simply would just insert that into that, and then that basically allows you to plug in two USB devices there. You've got an SD card on the top and a micro SD slot on the bottom, a 3.5 millimeter plug-in there, and another USB-C that you can use to power something, such as another phone. You can plug that in and you can use it to charge it up. And what's useful is that right there, that is known as your HDMI input. So in essence, you can really use this, plug it into a monitor, and you can use that as your external storage or external monitor instead of using the Surface Go itself. Now, it does come with Windows 11, so I haven't had a chance to kind of play around with it. But in terms of performance, it's still an amazing device, especially at what it costs, at around $500 if you don't include the Surface Pen. Just the keyboard and the Surface itself is around $500 some odd dollars. I definitely would recommend this to anybody who's looking to buy their first $500 laptop, but want something that has a combination of both a tablet and a laptop. I would definitely recommend this to anybody. So that is pretty much all that I got right now. So I'll have a more thorough review of this once I have gotten around to playing around with it a little bit more. So again, I want to thank everybody for watching. And again, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, hit the bell notification. That way you don't miss content when I drop it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up on this video. And again, my name is Black Apino the Apple Guy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.